What is up, Gotham fans? I'm Tommy from Z&D Comics, and welcome to my review of Season 1, Episode 14, The Fearsome Dr. Crane. This is your first and only warning. I will be talking about this whole episode, every spoilerific thing there is. I think I just created a word, spoilerific. Anyway, if you haven't seen the episode, watch it, come back to this part of my review. Okay, so I want to talk about this first. It's really out of the blue. It's not really that important related to the episode, but I loved it, and that was the fact that Harvey fell in love in this episode. Now, I'm not a sucker for the relationship stuff. I mean, I like it, but this was awesome. I mean, if anybody were to fall in love with Harvey, it would definitely be this girl. I mean, they worked perfectly. Harvey's about to say something like something you would definitely expect from Harvey Bullock, like something either really offensive, not really that witty, or just kind of stupid, you know? That's basically what Bullock's all about. And he's about to say something, and this girl's like, yeah, no, shut up, like, just shut up. He's like, wow, that was really hot. And I'm not into redheads, I'm going to be honest with you. She was pretty banging. I totally tapped that. So how did this woman join into the story of Gotham? Well, basically what is going on in this episode is we're focusing on a new villain, which is related to Scarecrow, or more importantly, is Scarecrow's dad. Now, this person is Gerald Crane. We did not get a confirmation on his name, but he's obviously his dad, and by the comic books, Jonathan Crane's dad is Gerald Crane. The woman Harvey Bullock fell in love with, or is probably going to end up dating in future episodes, was the leader or the head of the Fear support group. And a member in the Fear support group was basically, he's in there, he's spectating the group, he finds people, and he kills them by their worst fear. Now, in the beginning of the episode, we get to see him killing someone, or at least hanging them off a roof, and we don't really know what his big motive is yet. He's obviously some messed up serial killer, because I think he's taking a trophy. Now, if you didn't know, that's kind of what serial killers do, is they take trophies. If you've ever seen Dexter, he takes blood slides, and really that's the only show I know that does that. But really what I think he's doing is he's taking like the adrenaline gland or something that causes like the fear in your body, like the fight, or like stand still mode or something. If you didn't know, that's like back in like caveman ages, there was like you're either fighting or you're running. So yeah, he took some sort of gland, but we don't really know his motive yet. But don't worry, he's going to be a big part of the next episode. I like how they're doing that. They're spreading the episodes across for their villains, and we're going to get to find out more about Scarecrow. Yes, the episode is titled Scarecrow, and they did bring in Jonathan Crane at the end of the episode. He is obviously just watching what his dad does. His dad does have plans for him in the next episode. I think they're going to be using fear toxin. It definitely looked like he was using fear toxin, possibly on his own son, which is definitely messed up. So I like how they're having this protege type feeling with like Jonathan Crane, you know. Eventually when he does become the Scarecrow, he didn't completely make up this idea. Like, he is probably going to get into some sort of psychiatry work, and then eventually he will become the Scarecrow when Bruce Wayne becomes Batman, yada yada yada. Long story short, this is pretty awesome, and I like how not only is the episode titled Scarecrow, but we're also going to be seeing the fear toxin. I mean, I know it's like a prequel, but it's still pretty awesome, I gotta say. Like, father like son. Jonathan Crane, just like his father, Gerald Crane. And I gotta say, that's a big part of this episode. I like the actor, the way he was acting as, I guess, like, Scarecrow's dad. It just, like, it was perfect. It's definitely who I would see. I mean, I never seen any character, like, I don't think I ever seen Scarecrow's dad. He's actually deceased in the comic books, but if I were to think of any character, this would be the one I just saw in Gotham, so I really like that. Now let's move on to the next thing, and that is Penguin. Coolest part about this episode is Penguin escaping the squashing car machine, so you know, in truck alleys and stuff, or I guess like dump yards and stuff, to crush cars, you know, because cars are huge, they gotta put them into little squares, and they literally crush them like into a ball, like a huge car into a ball. Penguin gets thrown in there because, yes, you're probably confused, but you've seen this episode, of course. Maroney found out everything. Fish called him up. He's like, yeah. Fish is like, yeah, I'm not dead. You know that Penguin dude you're like cool friends with? Yeah, he's totally screwing you over. So Maroney's like, hell to this. He brings him to like this cabin in the middle of the woods. He ends up getting squished in a car. What the coolest thing about it is, like, he was put in the car, and then he's like, he's about to die. It's like, what the hell is he gonna do? He pulls out his phone. He sees like the billboard with the phone number, because in case you want to throw your car away. He calls that number, tells the guy that Falcone's after him, and that's how he stops, gets out, and that's when Maroni tries killing the guy who stopped the crane. And I'm like, that's brilliant. Like, I just would never have thought of something like that. I mean, like, usually, like, the character would get to stop. He'd be like, oh no, or like, he'd run away before we even get to see, like, the car getting squished. But, like, we're all like, okay, he's gonna die. And then the last second, he does something that I would not have expected, and that is calling up the guy who's literally in the middle about to kill him, saying, yeah, don't do this. Like, stop. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I really liked that part. And another really funny part, well, that wasn't funny, but a really funny part would be the final part of the episode where Penguin, of course, survives. He runs away. He gets waken up by a church bus. Yes, he's like saying this verse from the Bible, and he goes to the church bus and is going on his way back to Gotham. So he's gonna be singing some hallelujah hymns on that bus. It was pretty awesome. I found that just so funny. I mean, Gotham can be really funny sometimes. It's just like, yeah, so Penguin's about to die, but then he wakes up and goes to a church bus. Like, what? That's so funny, and they're all singing hymns and everything. Really like that part of the episode. So that's really all I got to say about this episode on what was really good. Nothing was really bad. I mean, I love Dr. Thomason. She's probably going to end up being the new examining doctor, or whoever the hell that is. The Riddler got, fired. He ends up, which is the first, actually, this is my next thing. What is the Riddler's story? Now, this is the first time we've seen him do something actually evil. Like, I mean, like, he wanted his job back, so he framed the person who basically got him fired. Like, you just totally ruined this guy's life and put him in jail. Like, that's pretty evil, and he didn't seem the least bit affected. So that's the first glimpse of knowing that the Riddler probably doesn't have the best form of empathy. Like, he can really, he just put this guy in jail, probably for the rest of his life, or at least for 20 years, and didn't even give two craps about it. So I was like, okay, this is like the first glimpse of us getting to see Edward Enigma actually becoming the Riddler. And now what we saw in the preview for the next episode was Edward Enigma, I think, standing face to face with Penguin. Now, I don't know how the two are going to become in content, but I finally think we're going to get a story with the Riddler. I mean, so far it's been little kind of stupid story sidelines with, like, Miss Kringle. And now I find those funny and I enjoy them, but it's, like, going nowhere. And I finally think something's going to happen, and I can't wait for it. I mean, like, it's really weird to tell this story. I mean, it's like he just has a crush on Miss Kringle, and all he does is say Riddler. So hopefully we can get a better story with him, and it looks like Penguin is going to bring that about in the next episode, and hopefully past then we can see a real good story with the Riddler. Now, the question I have for you for this episode is, who was Fish about to fight on that boat? Because the boat got shot up, everyone died, and some man comes in. It was pretty weird. Like, the scene, that the filming they did with that was just like, what the heck is going on? So, honestly, for some reason, Fish Mooney reminded me of Vixen, who's going to be like that new TV show on CW. Like, for a second, I was like, oh my god, Fish Mooney's Vixen, which literally makes no sense. But I just thought of that. And it was pretty weird. I have no clue who she was fighting. I don't know if he's from the comic books. I don't know if there's like an interview online explaining the future storyline with her. But that's the question for today. Who do you think Fish was about to fight on that boat? Now, let's give this episode a rating. I give it about 7.5 out of 10. It was a good episode, but it was definitely leading up to what's going to happen next episode. It was kind of like the first half of a two-part episode. The next half is going to have Scarecrow. It's going to have the fear toxin. We're going to see more Dr. Thomason. She's so unbelievably hot. And this was definitely a good episode. 7.5 is definitely a good rating on my scale. But I want to hear your review in the comment section down below. If you have any comments or questions, please post them down below. Like this video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. My name is Tommy from Z&D Comics. Thank you for watching.